All right, hello. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. My name is Megan, and we're gonna do some more yoga. We're gonna continue with some of those sun salutations that we did last week if you joined us last week. And then add on to that. Remember, sun salutation is just a fancy word for warm up. And I'm so happy that you're choosing to do a little yoga today because it's so good for our bodies, it's so good for our minds, it's so good for our stress level. So I'm hoping that everybody is feeling happy and healthy. I hope you're all well. Just a few reminders. When you are practicing today, if something does not feel right, stop, come back to a comfy seated position, work on your breathing, or come into child's pose. We'll go over that one again. Or, modify your pose, do something different, do something that you like. Just keep yourself happy and healthy through today's practice. All right, let's start in a comfy seated position. Spine is nice and tall. Bring your hands to your knees. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Close your eyes if you'd like. And then we're going to breathe in through our nose. Open your mouth and let it go. Just a few reminders. You might hear some background noise. My son is in his room playing video games. My dog is right here. Hi, Ollie. And my daughter is probably maybe walking around or will be walking around. Maybe she'll say hi to you guys. God bless you, Ollie. All right, let's breathe in again and breathe out. Just really coming into this space, arriving here on your mat, allowing all the stuff that was happening before yoga to sort of stay there, and allowing all the stuff that's going to happen after yoga to just be there for you when you're done, and letting yourself be here and in this moment. Let's breathe in again. Open your mouth and breathe out. Nice. Take one breath in. Let's take our arms up over our head, palms pressed together. Breathe in and breathe out. Do that again. Breath in. Palms come together over your head. Drop your right hand to the floor and lean over to the left, stretching that left side body. Terrific. Come back through center. Breathe in. Palms press and raise. Left hand drops, right hand reaches and stretches over. Yeah. Let's bring it back through center. One breath in. And both hands come on down. So let's just review our child's pose and then we'll get going. So child's pose, you bring your big toes together to touch. You spread your knees wide to the edges of your mat. You sit your butt back on your heels, and then you allow your chest to drop forward, stretching your hands to the front of your mat, and your forehead then relaxes on the mat. And this is child's pose. You can do this anytime we're in downward facing dog, if it feels better to do this, and you can come into child's pose any point in the class, whenever you feel like it. Okay? All right. So let's get back into child's pose and take some breaths there together. So really stretch those fingers super wide. Let your forehead rest on the mat. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more long breath in and a long breath out. Maybe allow your forehead to sort of roll side to side, just massaging out that space. Awesome. On your next breath in, come on into your tabletop position. Okay, so you want your shoulders, elbows, and wrists making one line. Your fingers are spread really wide. Your knees are hip width distance, and your hands are shoulders width distance. And then your biceps are rotating towards the front of your mat. You have a nice long neutral spine here and tabletop. And the tops of your feet are pressing down into the mat. From here, let's drop our belly towards the mat. Lift your chin, breathe in. This is cow pose. Breathe out, press through your palms, round your spine, pull your chin to your chest as you breathe out. Breathe in, belly drops, chin lifts. Breathe out, press and round. And we'll do it again. Breathe in, belly drops, chin lifts. Breathe out, press and round. Nice. Come back to your neutral spine, and we're gonna thread the needle. So we're trying to roll to the top of the right shoulder, and then of course we'll do it on the left side as well. So please leave your left hand down right underneath your nose. Take a big breath in. Inhale your right hand super high, and then you're threading it through your left arm, rolling onto that right shoulder, the top of the right shoulder, and you can stay here if this feels good. If you need a little more, you can take that left hand and stretch it to the top of your mat. Take a nice breath, big breath in, and a breath out. Great. And let's switch it to the other side. So come back to your tabletop position. Leave your right hand down. Take a big breath in. Left hand reaches and stretches. On the exhale, thread it through. Roll onto the top of that right shoulder. Left shoulder. And then, again, if you need a little more, you can always take that right hand and reach it towards the top of your mat. Take a long breath in and a long breath out. Yeah. Just warming up our bodies. Getting ready to really get moving here with our sun salutations. So, press your palms into the mat. Tuck your toes behind you. You're going to lift your hips nice and high. Come into your first downward facing dog of this practice. So your heels are stretching back towards the mat, or you're trying to press your heels down into the mat. Your knees can be soft, okay? Your chest is pressing back towards the top of your thighs. Your bicep muscles are rotated forward. Your fingers are spread wide. Hands are shoulders width distance, and feet are hips width distance. Your tailbone is really trying to reach and stretch up towards the ceiling. Your belly is pulled to your spine, and you're just breathing. Really let your head go. Relax your neck as well. Try to relax the muscles in your face. Take a long breath in and a long breath out. On your next breath in, lift your heels nice and high. Bend your knees, look forward at your hands, and step your feet to the front of your mat. So we're going to take our feet out real wide, okay? We're going to come into ragdoll here for just a moment. So knees are bent, super soft. Fold your body forward. Let the top of your head drop down towards your mat, and then you can grab opposite elbows. This is ragdoll, really allowing that neck to stretch along, your spine to stretch along. Maybe there's a little sway side to side. Shake your head yes, and then no. And on your next breath in, let your hands come to the mat. Bring your feet together to touch. With your knees bent, you're going to slowly roll up to a standing position. Here we are. All right, we're going to move through those sun salutations, sun A, sun B, okay, breathing while we do them, and then we'll move on to some other poses. Okay, so begin in your mountain pose, right? Big toes are touching, heels are spread apart a little bit. Your feet are really rooted down into your mat. You're standing tall, your spine is long. Your hands are dropped to your sides. The palms are facing the front of your mat. Your shoulder blades are pulling in towards one another and then down your back. Belly to spine and tailbone tucked. Mountain pose. Tadasana. Let's take a big breath in. Take your hands up over your head. Press your palms together. Big breath out. Fold forward. Knees can be bent. On your next breath in, inhale, halfway lift. So this is that nice, super strong, straight spine. Crown of the head is reaching towards the front of your mat. Your tailbone is stretching and reaching towards the back of your mat. This is your halfway lift. From here, we're going to come down onto the mat, and there's a couple ways to do it, and I'll show you both. So, number 1, hands come down to the mat, knees come down to the mat, and then your belly, chest, and chin all drops to the mat. Take a breath in, inhale to cobra pose. Tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. Your heart and chest are lifting. Okay, your hands are right underneath your shoulders. On your breath out, fold it forward. Breathe in, tabletop. Breathe out, tuck your toes, press into your palms, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, lift your heels high, bend your knees, look forward. Step your hands to the front of the mat. Inhale, we'll lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Now, for this one, really root down into your feet. Take your arms out wide. As you breathe in, you're going to stand all the way up. Take your palms over your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then your hands drop, and we're back in mountain pose. And we're going to move through another sun A. Take a breath in. Hands come over your head. Breath out, fold forward. Breathe in, lift halfway, hands to your shins or knees. And here's the second way to get back to that downward facing dog. So you'll bring your hands down. You'll step your feet back into your high push-up position. So this is a really strong pose here, okay? Your belly is working, your thighs are working, your upper body, your arms are working, all of it here. So this is a high push-up position, okay? On your exhale, you come to low push-up. So those elbows have to stay right by your sides. Breath in, upward facing dog. So tops of your feet are pressing into the mat. Your knees and thighs are lifted. Your heart is pulling forward. This is a back bend. Exhale, roll over your toes. Press it back into downward facing dog. And there we go. So you can choose which one feels best. You can do them both. You can do one time and the other another. However it works for you. All right, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Let's inhale. Heels come high, knees bend, look forward, step your feet to the front of the mat. Take a breath in. Halfway lift. Breath out, fold it forward. Root into those feet to rise. Hands press over your head. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bring your hands back down to your sides. Back into Tadasana, mountain pose. Let's breathe in. Let's breathe out. Lift halfway on a breath in. And here we go. Bring those hands down to the mat as you exhale. Step it back. I'm going to take high push-up, low push-up. I'm really making sure my elbows stay super close to my sides. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, you can drop your knees to table and then take it back into downward facing dog. That's another little way to do it too. All right, here we are, back in downward facing dog. Breathe in and open your mouth and really let it go. Breathe out. Excellent. So you should be noticing that your body's kind of warming up. That's the whole point. Feeling a little heat, matching movement to your breath. Take your heels up high as you breathe in. Exhale, look at those hands, bend your knees, step your feet forward, breathe out. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, root into those feet to rise, stand tall, take your palms over your head together to touch. Breathe out, hands to heart center. Okay, drop those hands to your sides. Let's do it again. Breathe in, look up, reach up. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, fold forward. Hands down, knees down, belly, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, fold. Inhale, table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so just because we're running short on time, maybe we'll skip sun bees and we'll come into some other poses that I wanted to teach you guys today. Some warrior number 2, some triangles, and then maybe even some balancing poses. And then of course, we'll bring it back down to the mat to make sure we get into our resting pose, which is probably the most important pose of a yoga class. All right, let's do it. So here we are, downward facing dog. Let's try hopping our hands to the front of the mat this time. So you're gonna breathe in, lift your heels nice and high, bend your knees, look forward, and then both feet hop to the front of your mat. From here, you lift halfway. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, so warrior number 2 is a really nice big hip opener, stretching, strengthening. All right, so what we want to do, right foot is going to step forward to the front of your mat. Your toes of your right foot are facing the front of the mat. Your left foot is going to step towards the back of the mat. Now, that foot, your toes are facing sort of the side of your mat. So, this is warrior number 2. Your dristi, or where you look, is over your front middle finger, okay? And then let's check out if our feet are lined up correctly. Here's one way to tell. The heel of your right foot should be lined up with the middle part of your back foot. There's a big bend in that front knee. Arms come out like a T, your belly is pulled in, and your tailbone is tucking. This is warrior number 2. This is a really big power pose. You should feel strong in this pose and relax at the same time. All right, let's breathe in, straighten out that front leg, take your hands up over your head. Breathe out, warrior number 2. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's take one more big breath in. One breath out. Okay, so from here, your right hand should be in front. And if you mix up your rights and lefts and you have your left foot in front, it's okay. Just make sure we do the other side, which we will. So you're going to take that front hand and flip your palm up to face the ceiling. From here, you'll breathe in, you'll reach back and reverse your warrior number 2. On your next exhale, come back into warrior number 2. You're going to take your forearm, your right forearm, and rest it on your right knee. Okay? Your feet are still in warrior number 2. You're going to take that left hand and stretch it up towards your bicep. This is extended side angle pose or side angle pose. So you're resting here. You're trying to rotate your heart up towards the ceiling. That left hand is stretching towards the front of your mat. Hi, Grace. On your next breath in, come back into warrior number 2. All right, we're gonna try a triangle pose. So straighten out that front leg. Your feet are still warrior number 2 feet. That front leg is straightening out. You're gonna take your right hand and reach it as far forward as it can go. And then it will come and rest on your shin, your ankle, or the floor. And then that left hand is reaching high. There's lots of space, in your side body there. And then you can look up at your left hand. If that's not comfy for your neck, you can look right down at the floor. This is triangle pose. From here, we're gonna breathe in, take everything all the way up. Take your hands over your head, and you're gonna step your feet together at the front of your mat. Take a big breath in, a big breath out, fold forward. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, hands down. Step it back, high to low. Breath in, up dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Okay, now we're gonna do all of that on our left side. So take those heels up high as you breathe in. Bend your knees, look forward. And let's hop those hands to the front of the mat. Boop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. Okay, so now we're just switching feet. You're gonna take that left foot. I guess we're stepping towards the back of our mat now. But make sure that front foot, your toes are facing forward. The back foot, your toes are facing towards the side of your mat, that long edge of your mat, okay? There's a deep bend in that left knee, and that right leg is super straight in the back. Take your arms out like a letter T, and then your dristi, where you look, is right over the middle finger of your left hand. And we're breathing here. Straighten out that front leg. Breathe out, come back into warrior number 2. Check your heels. Check your feet to see if they're aligned correctly. that front heel is lined up with the middle part of your back foot. Breathe in again and breathe out. We're gonna flip that front palm up towards the ceiling. Take it back on an inhale. So reverse your warrior. Come back into warrior number 2 as you exhale. Drop your left forearm to your left knee. Take your right arm high. It's right up there by your right bicep. Bicep is right near your right ear. I'm trying to say too many things too fast, so I gotta slow it down. So, and you're stretching and reaching that right hand over your head. You're trying to press and rotate your heart and shoulder, right shoulder up towards the ceiling. Nice. Come back into your warrior number 2. We're gonna take it into triangle, so straighten out that front leg. Now your left hand is gonna reach as far forward as it can. Keep reaching, 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 reaching. And then it finally drops to your shin, your ankle, or the floor. And then your right hand reaches high. Triangle pose. You should feel this stretch sort of on the top of your hip. Yep. And again, if it's not comfy for your neck to look up, you can always look right down. Come on back into warrior number 2, and then straighten it all out. All right. Bring your feet together. So I'm just gonna be standing this way for you guys in my mat. It looks like I'm standing sideways on the mat, but that's okay. We're gonna come into some balancing poses. You should be feeling a little warmer right now, so we're ready to do those. Remembering that one rule of yoga is that if we do it on one side, we're gonna do it on the other. Yep. All right. So tree pose. I'm sure you've all done this before, and if you haven't, that's okay. I'm gonna show you how to do it. So, tree pose. So one knee is going to bend, one leg is going to stay, the other leg is going to stay straight. This can be your tree pose right here, and my foot is not leaving the floor. It's kind of just like a little kickstand. If you want to, you can bring that right foot onto your left leg, or you can lift it way up high and tuck it in right up there on the top of your left thigh. The only rule for tree is that the foot does not rest on your knee. So it's below or above. Okay, and you really want to feel that right foot pressing into your left thigh and your left thigh pressing back into your right foot. And then the left foot that's on the floor should be pressing down into the ground like roots of a tree. So your hands can be here at your heart. If you want to let your branches grow, take them up over your head. Rotate your pinkies together. Pull your shoulder blades together and down your back. Pull your belly to your spine and tuck your tailbone. Tree pose. Take a long breath in and a long breath out. I'm going to let all of that come back down to the mat. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Let's do it on the other side. So right foot's gonna stay down, left foot is lifting below the knee, or, oh, there's a pretty bird that just flew by, or above the knee. And here we are in our tree pose on the other side. My foot doesn't want to stay up there, so guess what? It's just gonna be right here. So that left knee is pressing out, tailbone's tucked, belly's pulled to spine, my shoulder blades are rolling together and down my back. I'm pressing firmly into my right foot. There it goes again. And then that left foot's pressing into my right leg's pressing back into my left foot. All these rights and lefts. Don't worry. I mess them up all the time. The most important thing is that you're just doing both sides so that you feel balanced. Stretch those branches, rotate those pinkies together, and try to focus on something right in front of you. Nice. Take a long breath in and a long breath out. Okay, let's shake that out a little bit. Okay, and we're going to do one more balancing pose on each side. This is called a figure 4. So you're going to be making sort of that number 4 with your body. So I'm taking my right ankle and I'm resting it on my left knee. This right foot is going to be super flexed, And then my right knee is sort of pressing down and out. I'm sinking back into my hips. Okay, kind of like chair pose. From here, from this side too. So you sink your hips back. Yeah, that right foot stays flexed. And your back, you want to keep your chest and your back nice and straight here. And then your arms can reach. This is your figure 4. This is a nice hip stretch. You should feel it on that outside edge of that right hip. Come on back up. Shake it out a little bit. And we'll do it on the other side. So now your left ankle is going to rest on your right knee. Your left foot is going to flex a bunch. Tons. Yeah. Sink those hips back. Your hands can stay here, or you can let them stretch out in front of you. Really sink back into this. Find something to look at straight ahead. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. And come on back up to a standing position. Let's take a big breath in. Big breath out. Fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands down. Knees down. Maybe you want to do it this way. Belly, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, fold. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, bring your knees down. We're going to swing those feet around to the front of our mat. And we're running out of time, but don't worry, we'll be back together again next week. But let's bring our back all the way down onto the mat, come into our bridge pose. So, you want to bend your knees, press your feet down flat into the floor. Bring your arms along the sides of your body. Okay, your fingertips should be brushing your heels. And then from here, you'll breathe in. Breathe out, press your hips up high. Bringing your chin to your chest. Your hands can stay where they are, but if you need a little bit more, you can roll your shoulders underneath you, interlacing your hands, pressing your hips high. Take a breath in and a breath out. Breathe in, breathe out, and then bring your hips down. Bring the bottoms of your feet together and let your knees drop out to the sides. This is called Supta Baddha Konasana. Yeah, bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Close your eyes. Take a long breath in and a long breath out. Hi, Grace. All right, close those knees back up together. Let your knees sort of sway side to side. And then, Gracie, you have to go into your room, honey, until I finish, okay? And then take your feet, unless you're joining me for yoga. That would be cool. Bring your feet up over your head. Oh, you're doing it. Yay. Yeah. And then, yeah, so this is just that inversion. Okay, really important to get your feet up over your heart and your head towards the end of your yoga practice. Allowing the blood flow to come back from your feet. Now down into all of those organs that are in charge of breathing and digestion. And then slowly lower your feet. Give yourself a big hug. Squeeze those knees into your belly. Arms are going to drop out to the side like a T, and then let both of your knees come to one side. Just a spinal twist. Really slowing things down, relaxing, setting our bodies up, or preparing our bodies for that Shavasana, that resting pose. Let your knees come back through center and drop over to the left, look right. So remember, I might be moving around or making some noise during Shavasana, and I'm sorry about that. But don't pay attention to me. Pay attention to your breathing and to that resting pose. All right. Super fabulous. Bring those knees back into your belly. Give yourself a big hug and squeeze. And then let your body stretch out really long. Let your body get really big and wide here. Let's take a big breath in together. Big breath out. Before we relax our bodies totally for this Shavasana, I want you to make big, tight fists with your hand. Flex your feet, scrunch up your nose and face, clench your jaw together, and then let all that go. Melt down into your mat, into the floor. Allow your body to relax and rest in your Shavasana pose. Staying right where you are, and just breathe. Okay, guys, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Take a nice big full body stretch, arms over your head, feet towards the top of your mat. Maybe you point your toes this time, and then pull your knees into your belly. Give yourself a big squeeze, and then roll over onto the right side of your body in a fetal position, and then slowly make your way back up to a comfy seated position. And we'll take a big breath in together and a big breath out. Taking your hands to heart center, reminding yourself to be kind to yourself and to others. And then let's take our thumb knuckles right to our third eye center, that space in between your brows, the place of all knowing, wise old owl. Take a breath in. And then together we'll bow and say namaste. Fabulous job today. Hope you're feeling great, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Be well. That was Ollie. Hi, Ollie. All right. Bye, guys.